Welcome students. Today we are going to understand a poem Clothesline, which is your chapter number 2.1 in unit 2 from your subject English. My dear students, currently we are facing a big pandemic of coronavirus and all of us are at home for more than 5 months. We are at home helping our mother with each and every household chores. You might have seen the clothes hanging in your balcony. Just go to your balcony and have a look and think one of your clothes hanging on the cloth dryer flies away in front of you. How will you feel? You may feel restless. You may feel bad about the cloth which was closest to your heart. So today we are going to understand a similar poem, Clothes Line, based on clothes by Charlotte Druid Cole. Charlotte Druid Cole was an American poetess. She was born on 13 January 1878. She wrote many poems, especially based on the interest of children. Some of her poems are The Green Lady, Sun and Moon, Clothesline, etc. She wrote some famous books such as A Book of Play for Children, Chums the Play Are Express, Tales for Little Folk. These are some of her anthologies. What is anthology? The word anthology means collection of published books. So, these poems and books are the collection of Charlotte Druid Cole which have been published. So students, now we will begin with the poem. First, I will read the poem and you will listen to it silently. Hand in hand, they dance in a row, hither and thither, and to and fro. Flip, flap, flop, and away they go, fluttering creatures as white as snow. Like restive horses, they caper and prance. Like fairy tale witches, they wildly dance. Rounded in front, but hollow behind, they shiver and skip in the merry March wind. One I saw dancing excitedly, struggling so wildly till she was free. Then, leaving pegs and clothesline behind her, she flew like a bird, and no one can find her. I saw her gleam like a sail in the sun, flipping and flapping and flopping for fun. Nobody knows where she now can be, hid in a ditch or drowned in the sea. She was my handkerchief not long ago, but she'll never come back to my pocket, I know. What do you understand by the first stanza? Hand in hand, they dance in a row, hither and thither, and to and fro. Flip, flap, flop, and away they go, fluttering creatures as white as snow. Here, the poetess is telling us that the clothes hanging on the clothesline are standing in a row. You can see in this picture there are clothes hanging on the clothesline are moving here and there. So, the poetess is telling us that the clothes are dancing. They are beside each other. The clothes are beside each other. That is why the poetess is telling us that the clothes are holding hands and they are dancing hither and thither and to and fro. Hither and thither are old version of English. It has been used in the previous language. Hither and thither means here and there. So the clothes were moving here and there and they were dancing. Flip, flap, flop, and away they go, fluttering creatures as white as snow. The poetess is telling us that they are going here and there as like fluttering creatures. The clothes, you can see the white clothes on the other clothesline where it is looking like a snow. So here the poetess is comparing the white clothes with the snow and they are fluttering, they are moving here and there. So the poetess is comparing the fluttering creatures, that means the clothes, with the white snow. Now look at the second stanza. Like restive horses, they caper and prance. Like fairy tale witches, they wildly dance. Rounded in front, but hollow behind, they shiver and skip in the merry March wind. Here, the word restive means restless. Caper, caper means playful manner. Prance, walk or move with high springy steps. Wildly, very hard, violently. Here, the poetess wants to tell us that the clothes are restless. They are restive like horses. They are caper. That means they are in a playful manner. The clothes are in a playful manner as like the horses. They are taking high springy steps. Here you can see in this picture how the horse is taking a high step. Similarly, the poetess is comparing the clothes with the horse. How the horse is moving here and there and taking high springy steps. The horse is in a very playful manner and it is restless. Similarly, she is telling us that even the clothes are behaving the same. They are also restless in a playful manner and they are also taking high springy steps. Like fairy tale witches, they wildly dance. You might have seen the witches in the fairy tale in YouTube or wherever you see the fairy tale. You might have seen the witches and how wildly they dance, how violently they dance. Similarly, she is comparing the clothes with the dances of the witches. That the clothes are also dancing like the witches, rounded in front but hollow behind. In this picture, the third cloth you can see it very clearly. How it is rounded from front and the gap which has been given behind the cloth is hollow. So how it is hollow from behind? So the cloth is rounded from front and hollow from behind. In this picture too, you can see the cloth, which is rounded from front and hollow from behind. They shiver and skip in the merry March wind. We all know about the March wind, as March is the season of winter, where this season is very windy. So the poetess is telling us that the clothes are shivering and skipping. They are very happy. The clothes are very happy. Merry, merry means happy. So the clothes are very happy in the wind and they are shivering and skipping. They want to run away from there. Now we will move ahead to the third stanza. One I saw dancing excitedly, struggling so wildly till she was free. Then, leaving pegs and clothesline behind her, she flew like a bird, and no one can find her. Pegs means pins used to secure something in place, as for example, clothes on a clothesline. Here you can see in this picture, this is a peg. You might have seen at your home, these pins have been used by mother to make sure that the clothes have been secured properly on the clothesline. So here the poetess is telling us that once the poetess saw the cloth dancing excitedly. The cloth was dancing excitedly and it was struggling so wildly that it wanted to be free. The cloth wanted to be free. It wanted to go away. It was dancing. You can see in this picture how these clothes are moving ahead. They just want to move themselves out of the clothesline. So, the poetess moves ahead by saying that then, leaving pegs and clothesline behind her, she flew like a bird and no one can find her. The poetess is telling us that the cloth has left the pegs and clothesline and has moved away from the eyesight of the poetess and it flew like a bird. It flew so fast that no one was able to find the cloth. No one was able to follow it. The fourth stanza of the poem is I saw her gleam like a sail in the sun, flipping and flapping and flopping for fun. Nobody knows where she now can be, hid in a ditch or drowned in the sea. Here, the poetess is telling us about the cloth. The word gleam means shine brightly. Ditch. Ditch means a narrow channel dug at the side of the road. Drowned, die through submersion in and inhalation of water. So the poetess is telling us that she saw a gleam of the cloth. It was shining brightly, like a sail in the sun. See, this is the picture of the sail. How brightly it is shining in the sun. The sail is shining in the sun. So, the poetess is comparing the cloth with the sail. She is telling us that the cloth was shining similarly as the sail, and it was flipping and flapping and flopping for fun. It was moving here and there with happiness, and no one can tell where it is now. Either it is in a ditch or it might have drowned in the sea. No one was able to find it, and no one knows that where is it. The last stanza of the poem is: She was my handkerchief not long ago, but she'll never come back to my pocket, I know. It is only in the last two lines of the poem that the poetess reveals that she was talking about her handkerchief that flew away not very long ago. She is sure that it will not come back to her, and it is lost forever. So, in the first two stanzas, the poetess is talking about the happiness of the clothes on the clothesline. The clothes are dancing here and there, they are moving here and there, they are restless like horses, they are dancing like fairy tale witches. And in the last three stanzas, the poetess gives us a sad note of losing her cloth, which is her handkerchief, which she cannot find it again. It has been lost forever. So now we will begin with the grammar of this poem. We will begin with figures of speech. Our first figures of speech is simile. Simile is a stated comparison usually formed with like or as between two fundamentally dissimilar things that have certain qualities in common. That means two things which are not similar, but there are certain things that are common. For example, here you can see fluttering creatures as white as snow. The fluttering creatures are the clouds. And how are they looking? As white as snow. So here the word as shows us that it is a simile, and two different things has been compared. Fluttering creatures with the snow. Like restive horses, they caper and prance. The clothes have been compared with the horses with the word like. She flew like a bird and no one can find her. Here the word like shows us that the cloth has been compared with the bird. Our next figure of speech is personification. A figure of speech in which an inanimate object or abstraction is endowed with human qualities or abilities. For example, hand in hand they dance in a row. The clothes have been given the dancing quality of human. A thing which has been given a human quality is known as personification. Like fairy tale witches, they wildly dance. Here too, the clothes have been given the dancing quality of the fairy tale witches. Hid in a ditch or drowned in the sea. Hiding and drowning qualities are of human, and it has been given to the cloth. That is why it is called as personification. Now we will move on to the next figures of speech. Alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of an initial consonant sound, which means that in a sentence, two or more than two words, the first letter has been repeated. For example, here you can see that flip, flap, flop, and away they go. The letter F has been used thrice. That means in three words. That is why it is alliteration. In the second statement, you can see the letter S has been used three times. I saw her gleam like a sail in the sun. Saw, sail, and sun. S has been used three times. Our next figure of speech is repetition. The repetition of a word in a sentence. That means a word has been used two times or more than two times in a sentence. For example, hand in hand they dance in a row. Here you can see that the word hand has been used two times, therefore it is repetition. The difference between alliteration and repetition is that in alliteration the first letter has been used more than two times, and in repetition the word has been used more than two times. Now we will move ahead to the rhyming words. When we say that two or more words rhyme, we mean that they end with the same sound or syllable. For example, ring, sing, sing, wing. Rhyming words are often used in verse at the end of the lines. Note the words behind and wind. They have similar spellings. That is, they look the same, but they are pronounced differently. That is, they do not sound the same. For example, shut, put, shut, put. This is known as I rhyme. So now we will begin with the questions. You will have to write the answers of the questions in your notebook. Answer the following questions with reference to the poem. The first question is, what is described in this poem? Or, what is the poet talking about in this poem? Second question, what according to the poet are the clothes doing? Third question, how are the clothes dancing? Fourth question, why are the clothes flipping, flapping and flopping? Fifth question, what are the clothes compared to? Question number 2. Separate the examples of I rhymes from the following list. Cry, try, none shown, known, grown, laughter, daughter, stronger, longer, imply, simply, beat, feet, shut, put. Question number 3. Complete the following comparisons. So here in the first one you can see as white as. So what are the things which are white? So here I have taken snow. Snow is also white. So it is as white as snow. You will have to write the comparisons for the other words such as blue as dash. So what are the things which are blue? So write the word in the column which is dash. As green as dash, as black as dash, as red as dash, as bright as dash. Thank you, students. Now we will meet in the next session.